Hello and welcome. I'm the Restless Kaiser, and I am over here.
And I'm Wooly Mike, and I'm over here. But together we are Modelling for Advantage. Ahoy there!
Hello there, sailors. Can we just get somebody say something in the chat? Make sure you can hear us, because we don't know that until we get some feedback in a live show. So just type anything, just X, Y, whatever. Just let us know. Meanwhile, we are going to be playing Oak and Iron today. The sense was a while ago by Firelot Games. I was really interested in having a look at this. I played Black Seas. I kind of liked the models, but I wasn't terribly impressed with the gameplay. I found I was endlessly moving the map.
Yeah.
So thought we'd try this one, see how different it was. We've had a couple of games so far, just so we're not complete rookies on this, and it seems okay.
It does.
Okay so far.
Yeah. Ships come on a clear base. The sails plug in. Takes a little bit of time to cross-reference the right sails in the right hole for the right ship.
Absolutely.
So today I'm fielding a force of Dutch pirates.
Arr.
My admiral, rank 2 admiral, is Bartholomew Black Bart Roberts.
Very nice.
And he's in command of my squadron and the petty frigate at the front of my force. I've got a flute, which has got expert gunners on it, which can give me some interesting actions later on. And at the back, I've got an unmodified corvette. In terms of the game, we've gone for 40 points.
Yeah. Because we just using the stuff that's in the start set that's readily available to you at home. The English force then, because I am an Englishman by God. Leading at the front, we have a sloop of war.
A Johnny B.
I don't know why you say Johnny B.
Just Sloop John B. It was a Beach Boys then.
Right, okay. You make all kinds of references that mean nothing to me, Mike. So I have a sloop at the front, carrying the number 4 pennant. My admiral is George Monk. He's a pro admiral. He is in the flagship, which is a light galleon. And at the back, I have a brigantine or brig with the number 5 pennant. Mine are all unmodified. My ships are, well, my light galleon is the most powerful thing in the starter set. So I have a slight edge there. But Mike's other 2 ships are a little bit better.
And you've got a level 3 admiral.
I have. I had to pay for it though. It's quite expensive.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that.
In a normal game,
yeah,
you're given these event cards, terrain cards, and deployment cards, and a scenario.
This is quite an interesting setup, right? There's how you, if you're playing a pickup game,
yeah.
It's not always going to be the same. It's not fixed scenarios, and there's a process of choosing here. So talk us through that, man.
So what we first of all we do is we've got an initiative to determine, and that's based on our admirals. So your level 3 admiral is better than my level 2.
Indeed.
So what you will do is there's 3 different types of card. You will choose 1 card from each row, but we take it in turns.
Right.
So there's an event card that most of them activate before the game, what type of terrain we're going to have, and also deployments. So with a level 3 admiral, you would choose a card from one of the 3 rows.
So because we want you to be able to see what's going on, we're actually cheating a little bit here, because we've actually already set up. So I'm going to choose this deployment. I don't have to choose from the top row first.
No,
right?
you just choose a card.
So I choose this card for this deployment, and you can see the little head is where the wind's coming from. This is Poseidon, I suppose. He's up there, so that allows me to deploy my ships there.
I'm going to take superior position, which immediately allows my ships to speed ahead 3. As I say, we have actually already done this, so because I know where I will be deploying based on the card. So I've taken the card. So now the British.
So actually, though, in truth, you couldn't do that, could you?
No. I would after I've deployed. I would do it.
Have to take a deployment first. What don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my deployment card.
So you could have deployed anywhere. You could have literally started crossing.
Yeah. So one of them is you have to deploy all of your squadron at the same time. But the card that came, the third card in this one, is you could split your forces between the two opposite segments.
Right.
So you could take both of those segments.
Can you?
Yeah.
I think that's to put all your squadron in one place. All right. Okay, that's interesting. All right. So we've done the deployment option. So I will take open sea as my terrain card because I don't want any.
I'll take my superior position and get my
and then make that move. All right. So I will take event as my doofer. And do we play this event immediately after ships have been deployed?
Yeah.
Okay. So not now.
I would take offshore, no terrain.
Offshore,
and then
no terrain.
The third card of each one gets discarded.
Yeah.
So up here next to the wing, we have a deck of event cards. And in certain circumstances, we have to draw an event card. And we have reduced visibility. Treat all ranges outside of yardarm as one range further for the rest of this turn.
Right. So it doesn't measure in inches. It has 3 range bands: pistol range, musket range, and cannon range. And then it has the yardarm range, which is the width of the ruler.
Yeah.
So basically, we can only shoot this far, counting because we're counting each as a range band. I don't think it's possible for us to shoot this turn.
No.
Okay, so that's our event. We've done our deployment. We also are supposed to pick when we deploy a initiative card. This is a really important aspect of the game. Now then, knowing that,
so the starting deck is 5 cards plus your admiral skill. So with 3, Kaiser's got 8 cards. I only had 7, but my admiral says if nobody's taken a initiative card called Intrepid, I can have it in my hand for free.
Yes.
So we both have 8. So I put my initiative card forward.
Yeah, and we do that as part of deployment. And the whole premise with this game is you have to choose next turn's initiative card in the initiative phase. So in the initiative phase, then, so we're going into round 1, we reveal the card that we chose last time. I've chosen adjust formation, 2 aspects. One is the score, so whether you win or lose the initiative. So Mike's is 4, so he's beat me. And then there's another aspect to what it does. In this particular one, if a ship in the squadron is within pistol shot of another friendly ship, which is about 2 inches, it is treated as being in formation. That doesn't actually matter this time, but neither did. I don't think we're actually going to do any shooting. I'm very shooting heavy in my initiative cards.
Yeah.
What have you got?
I've got a 4 initiative card, adjust position. Each ship in this squadron that is in formation, that's immediately behind another ship within pistol range, they may make a free shift directly sideways, either at the beginning or end of their turn.
So they literally slip, which is a bit weird that ship can do that, but it can. Apparently.
I think it's like veering and
it's like the micro adjustments.
You go a bit forward as you make the turn. Anyway, so on to turn 1 then.
So it alternates in terms of activation, but with you going first.
Yep.
Because you have the initiative.
So my ship I'm large to the wind, so it's coming away from me.
And you have that as a special role.
And I have a fast ship, so when it's large, I can go 1 extra. So my normal base move is 3, but I can then move from 3 to 4 as for speed. Now I've got the YAR rule, YARE.
Indeed.
Which allows me a free move either at the start or the end. Free turn. So I'm going to take my free turn. I'm then going to move forward. And then my turn move, I get one move per one turn. So I'm going to take that there. And then I have the shift. Allows me to drift.
When do you drift?
At the start or the end of the movement.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
So, to show that I've been with that ship, we put a wake marker on the back of it.
So, because it's a game of 12 ships, we just mentioned a whole bunch of seemingly quite special rules that apply. Because movement is a really important aspect of the game, and the special rules that allow the different ships to maneuver differently. So it's my turn. Oh, I should have picked a card for next turn, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
I should have picked a card for next turn. My bad. I'm going to choose that one. So my first initiative, I'm going to take this sloop of war, sir. I don't have that large rule that Mike had, but I'll take some dice. So normally, when you're at battle sail, which is normal, you're going to move however much it tells you on your card based upon the wind direction. And as long as you're not at right angles to the wind direction, you're going to move 3 in most cases. If, however, you can increase or decrease that by 1 if you make a skill test. A skill test is made with 5 dice, and I'm looking for a sail or a skull and crossbones. Because I'm my British commander, as skilled sailors, I actually get an extra dice at this. So here we go. And I've got a skull, so I can move up to 4. If you pass me the number 4 widget, sir, I will take the number 4 widget, and I will move 4. I will just move 4. Will I just move 4? Yeah, I'll just move 4.
So I'm going to activate my flute. He's got no special moves. So I'm going to make my turn first. And then advance 3. I do finish within pistol shot of my guy, so he now gets himself back in formation.
He's not in formation, mate.
No, he's not.
You've got to be in line. You've got to be in the line of stern to be in formation.
Yep.
That's one of the things we're still.
There is a line down the middle of the ship for fore and aft, and then there's a side line. Okay, so
he started in formation with the ship behind him. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. This one, I'm going to make the same sailor move to speed up. Yes, going to 4. So here we go, up to 4, and I'll put a wake on.
Now for my guy, I'm going to do a.
You're going to attempt, so you get a seamanship action after you've determined your speed. So you're going at the normal speed.
I'm going at a normal speed of 3.
Yeah.
But I'm going to make a turn if I can. Yes, I can.
And you've got a sail. So sail or skull and crossbones.
So for this free move.
Yeah.
I use the 1 token.
Yeah. The different measure widgets have different angles for the turns.
Then I'm going to take my 3, and I'm going to take my free turn for the turn.
Yeah.
For the move.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go forward 3.
Yeah.
And I've got Yar, so I'm going to take another little bit of a turn.
Okay. Staying just shy of 90 degrees to the wind there.
Yeah, okay. So I still get the full benefit of the wind.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to do the same with this final ship to speed up. I've got a success there, so I move 4. Over we go, up to here, and put a weight token on. So that's the end of the movement phase. Ramming speed battle boats, exactly that, J-Bays, exactly that. So we then move on to the attack phase, when you can broadside, partial fire, or close combat. The broadside is literally the width of the base in a straight line. Partial fire is basically crew weapons. It's muskets and swivel guns, So not only is it range limited, it's also quite weak. We would be involved in a cannonade, except we have an event, which meant we cannot fire further than this bit.
Yeah.
And there ain't no way that anybody is in range.
So, clean up stage, we take the weight markers off. If it doesn't say specific rules, we pick up our initiative card and add it back to our hand. Some do say they have to be discarded, and then we advance. Wrong card.
I'm putting this back in my hand.
The one that's face down, isn't?
Yeah, you're right.
Advance that card.
Yeah.
And then for the next turn, we put down. So we've already got to think ahead. So not only are we looking at position of where we are for this turn, we've got to try and
think about what you, because some of these cards are quite powerful. Okay, so
reveal.
I am this turn doing long range gunnery.
Deception 2.
Oh, it's dirty.
It's basically the same rule to you, is that you cannot fire at anything at cannon range.
Yeah, which means I can only fire this far.
Yep.
Mike, however, can fire that far. This way.
Yep. We have a tie on the initiative numbers.
We do.
Which means we get an event card.
It does.
Calm. All ships reduce their speed by 1 to a minimum of 0.
A minimum of 0?
Yes.
So you can't go backwards?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
The first tie break is admirals.
Yes, and I have a skill 3 admiral versus your weedy 2 admiral, which means I'm going to go first. Given what you've just said, I think I'm just going to shuffle forwards 2 with my sloop. There you go.
Okay.
No, you know what? I'm going to take the opportunity to put some space between my ships. I'm going to make a maneuver test, which I've passed, and move it 3. So I'll move it back 2, then move it forwards 3. Because before we put the weight markers on, I thought there was a bit more room. There isn't. So there you go. That's my action.
Okay. So I would normally go at 3 with my first ship, which would be down to 2.
Yeah.
But I'm a fast ship, so when sailing large, in this case, I get. So I still.
You can go to 3 for free.
Yeah.
You don't have, you don't need skill for it.
Yeah, and I've got Yar as well.
So the Yar is the thing that allows us to take an extra turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Number 2.
So he'll move up 2, which is just his regular move. There we go. Because I understand seamanship is about having your ships in a bonny straight line.
Yep. So he's going to go 2. Doesn't make it into.
All right, and then I make a seamanship test to make that last one drop speed even further to 1.
Which you've done.
They're all junk, so I have to move it 2. It's passed me the 2 widget. These widgets, we're having to use these, by the way, because this isn't 2 inches. It's not. They're not each 1 inch more, I don't think.
Yeah.
They look a little bit less than that. So he goes to there. Whoops. See, look, I'm in knocked out of alignment here. There we go.
My Corvette is normally 3. The event makes it to 2, but I'm a fast ship. And I've got Yar as well. So I'm going to take a Yar.
Yeah, well, we are. You've seen pretty much everything that comes in the basic set. We haven't painted or push fit. We just push fit the models, and actually, as you can see on the sloop, maybe you can't see from there. You do need some glue for that one. That spinnaker is kind of hanging free at the moment, but this is what they look like when you just press them together. We assembled them in what, 15 minutes?
Yeah, it's just a little bit. You just got some of the sails look the same,
Yeah,
and the hulls look the same.
But they were in separate baggies, each of the ships, so you knew you had the right pieces in your hand. Just working out the combinations.
Okay, sir. We move into the firing phase.
We're into the shooting phase. Well, to keep things simple, that's my maximum shooting distance because of that dirty card that you played. So I'm not shooting. Oh, you think that one on the back is? I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
You do measure nearest point to nearest point rather than center to center. So it was possible. It's all long range fire, Mike.
Yeah.
Just assess that, determine that.
So I've got no fatigue.
Currently.
Yeah. So my petty frigate is firing with 4 shots. I have 1 skull and 3 misses.
So this cannon, musket, pistol is the dice you will hit on. So at cannon range, you always hit on a skull. Cannon range is cannon and skull. Then you add the musket in. Then you add the pistol in.
Yeah.
All right.
So I've scored 1 hit.
Yeah.
Because it's a skull, there's a chance of a critical hit. And a sword is not a critical hit.
Sword is a critical hit.
Sorry.
Critical hit sword is a fatigue. Right. So this is where it gets a bit complicated. You've hit ship number 4.
Yep.
You did 1 damage.
Yep.
If you hit, ships take fatigue. And this, I would say, is the critical mechanic that makes it a more involved game than Black Seas.
Yeah.
Because you have this fatigue track about sort of crew morale. If you get hit, you take a point of fatigue. Now, it was 1 hit, and I compare that with my hull's fortitude, which in the case of a sloop is only 1, so he has done a point of damage. Then lastly, you did a critical hit, which was an extra point of fatigue.
Yep.
Which was a little bit grim for me. A fatigue is -1 dice to every dice check you make. And given that this thing only shoots 3 dice with its cannon, and I've just taken 2 points of fatigue, you can see how that's quite impactful.
Yeah, okay, so my flute is shooting at your flagship.
Yeah. You got 1 hit.
1 hit
with the cannon.
Yeah, I've got a special rule that doesn't come into effect because I didn't roll any skulls.
Okay, so this is against my ship number 6, so I take a point of fatigue.
And yeah, I can get. So both of those ships are in his broadside, but I'm going to go for the big boy.
No hit.
Nothing. Nope.
All right. That was the end of the round.
Yeah.
There is an end step where ships might sink and crews might strike, but that's not a factor here. So we do that. We return our cards.
My deception goes out of the game.
Yes, that's a one use thing, isn't it? Right. So I'm doing.
Well, what we didn't do is
this.
Each ship, we put a marker to show that I fired the cannon.
You find that broadside?
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
And my second card.
Yep.
I'm going for 3 reload.
And I'm going to go with effective fire.
Of course, I didn't get into line.
Into formation.
Nope.
So nobody's in formation.
Nope. We've got both 3s.
We're tied on 3s, so we need an event.
Fortune. Roll a challenge test. The player that wins gains a fortune point.
So challenge test is looking for skulls. I got 1.
No. So
Gains a what?
a fortune point.
Oh, we haven't been tracking them, have we? So fortune points, you actually get 3 of those, and they're re-rolls. You find them and punch them out. That's not what these numbers that we used are, are they?
No, it's those. The coins.
Okay.
Yeah. So you win.
Yeah. So I should have 4, and you should have 3. And this fortune point is a whole reroll. Not reroll 1 dice, it's reroll all. Right, and then the tie is determined because I have a superior admiral, it goes to me. I have to make the first move. We've no longer got that calm seas problem.
Or a range problem.
So I am going to move this one. Give me the 3 widget, please. So as you saw before, this is a nippy little thing, so it can turn twice. So I shall do exactly that. Right?
Yeah. So, in the movement phase, we get a seamanship action and a crew action.
Yes.
So, my seamanship is I'm not going to do anything.
The seamanship action you do first, and it might involve roll. You have to roll dice to succeed it.
But I'm not taking that. I'm closing, and again, this one's got that yar rule, so I'll make another. Now, my crew action is reload.
Righty ho. That's your crew action. You reload.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. For my crew action is I rallied a point of fatigue. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat on this one. I didn't have to reload. I was already loaded. Yep. All right. So this is mine. Could I have the number 3 widget, please, sir? So I will. Now this one does not have this agile roll, the YAR roll. So I have to make a skill test. It's a seamanship thing. And you've got a sail. I was thinking
sails and skulls.
Okay, sails and skulls.
Again, all tested only on a 5, but that the British have got an extra.
The Heart of Oak, sir. So that's like that. There we go.
Okay. So my flute is going to make a seamanship roll.
And he repairs a point of fatigue as his crew action.
Nope.
That was a lot of swords and pistols, though, sir. Number 3. I've asked you, blackguards, indeed. Fatigue system is what sets it apart from sort of other games. Tracking that, because although we may be looking like we're always reloading and so forth, the reload action shares the same space in the turn sequence as the recover fatigue. So that's a thing.
So your final ship, sir.
My final ship, it is slick enough that it can just do that like the others did, because it doesn't have to test for it. It has the YAR rule, the R rule. All right.
On my ship, I'm going for a speed up.
You're for a speed up?
Because I'm upwind, I've only got 2 move.
Yes. And you get a sail, so you're good?
Yep. So I can move it up to 3. I'm going to take my first free move, chug across, and just a little, and reload.
Alrighty.
Trying to cross the T there.
So I shoot first.
Yep.
I've got effective fire, which gives me an extra shooting dice. So I think I'm going to shoot this before it shoots too much off me. So I start with 3 firing dice, because that's its firepower. I've got a point of fatigue, so I lose 1. My initiative is effective fire, gives me another 1. And I am in formation, gives me another 1. So I've got 4 dice. The range, I assume, is not pistol, but is musket.
Yeah.
So skulls, cannon, and muskets will work for me. And then I have some other... Right.
One hit.
Now then, because I'm British, I can re-roll swords, but I don't have any swords either. So that's just one hit on ship number 1.
Okay. So I've got a fortitude of 2.
So you don't take any damage, you just take fatigue. Yeah.
So
you're going to give me a broadside marker?
You can have a broadside marker.
Fired, sir.
Okay. I'm going to reciprocate.
Roger that.
So start with 4 dice. You just put a fatigue on me. 3 dice. I've got a cannon and a sword. Pistol, so no. 1 hit.
Yes, but I'm a lot more flimsy than you.
Yeah.
So I take a fatigue for being hit, and I'll take a point of damage because 1 damage is my whole number. All right. Next, I shall fire my big boy into your big boy. I have 5 cannon base. I get 1 for effective fire, and I get another 1, which we don't have because the set only came with 6. So I'll re-roll 1 because I'm in formation. So cannon is a hit. That's a hit. That's a miss. Are we within musket range?
No, you're not.
No?
No.
Okay, so I'll re-roll this one. No. So 2 hits.
So I've got a fortitude of 2.
Boo.
So I do take 1 damage.
You do?
And 1 fatigue point.
I also may crit because I had a skull. No.
No. So
the crits are only on the skulls, the sails, or the swords. All right?
Yeah. So 4 down to 3.
No hits.
No. So that's my broadside. A big fella fired previously, and it's just him.
Yes. So I can't take a broadside shot because nobody's in broadside. I can, however, take a partial shot. So this is crew. And your partial shots and swivel guns and things, they run off your crew rating, which in the case of this ship is 1 dice. It doesn't have fatigue, and it is in formation, and I do have effective fire. And I think I want to put this on the big ship. No, I'm going to put it on the little one because it's really close. It's in pistol range, and it's about to murder me. I get 3 hits.
Yep.
That is nice.
So, 1 fatigue and 3 damage.
Boom. So I did, and that still counts as me having fired a broadside, I assume.
Yeah.
We just didn't fire many of the cannon.
Yeah, you can fire anything on the side arc. So you can fire anything.
Ah, no. You place a reload marker on the firing edge as part of broadside firing, so that doesn't cause that.
Okay.
That's interesting. Because that's something we might want to do in the future.
Yeah.
We hadn't realised.
And I will reciprocate.
Yeah, but you are broadside.
3 down to 2.
Because of the fatigue. 2
Yeah.
hits.
Yeah.
So that's 2 damage and a fatigue in the case of this ship.
That was a broadside.
And that was a broadside. All right.
Everybody's been. So that one returns to my hand. Take away the wake markers. I advance to my next card.
Ah, yeah. So I'll take that. I'm gonna do that. So mine is await new orders.
Mine is down. All ships in the squadron reduce the amount of fatigue taken by 1.
From fire this turn.
For the fire this turn, yeah.
Yeah, they don't lose a point of fatigue.
Okay, and your await orders?
Yeah, my await new orders is an interesting one because it allows me. I go last and I just pull a card out of my hand. So I'm going to use the take courage. So I'll still go on sequence 1, but I get to use this rule. Everyone in the squadron that's in formation loses a point of fatigue. This is a real strength of the way I've been playing. I found this to be very powerful. You do have to stay in formation.
The original initiative count, so it's a tie.
Yeah.
Gusts. All ships increase their speed rating by 1 for the rest of this turn.
Nice.
And
so the 3s become 4s.
Yeah, and or 5s if you use the fast rule. Right.
If you have the fast rule.
Yeah.
Which I don't.
But you have the initiative tiebreaker, so away you go, sir.
I do. I am. So I'm moving 4, am I? I will move the 4. And I will reload with my crew action.
Okay.
I'll let you keep the tokens. Thank you.
So, the fast ship.
Yeah.
3 goes to 4. Fast goes to 5 because I've got the weather weight. And we're going to turn in on you and reload.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to make a seamanship check here.
Yes. I've got a skull, so.
So that allows me. I'm going to be a bit brave here. I'm going to make a turn in. I'm moving 4.
And you've still got your normal turn if you wish to take
I've
it.
still got my normal turn if I wish to take it.
I assume you reload as your crew action.
I assume away, sir. Assume away. I'm going to turn here.
Thank you. You're going to make a seamanship for my ship number 2. I do.
Yeah, it's not quite that one-sided sub. We both get oak ships. I think it's wooden ships and iron men is the kind of idea here.
Yeah.
It's not, he gets wooden ships, I get iron ships. Let's see who wins.
Yeah.
No lasers today, Rosie, I'm afraid. No lasers. Sorry about
that. She's been looking at my card.
Indeed.
And your final ship, sir?
My final ship, sir, is going to speed up. If you don't mind passing me that last dice. Yep. So I'm going at speed 5, right? Because we're already faster.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, if you pass me the 5, I'd be very pleased. So I'm going to yar at the beginning of the turn. This is one of my rules. And I'm going to, am I? I'm going to go like that. And then I'm going to turn again. So this may seem a bit foolish, but what I'm trying to do is to not give him the chance to rake me from behind. I know that on some level he has got to move this way.
I'm going into the wind, which is a 3 normally.
Is it a 3 or a 2?
2, but we got gusts. Let's go
So
to 3.
3,
So
yeah.
we'll try and slow down.
Slow down to 2.
Nope.
No sales there. Now you can use a fortune point to re-roll that hand of dice because you were quite unlucky.
Oh, a secret card. Yeah, I'm gonna chuck in a. My seamen have not been. My sailors have not been.
Your seamen are a bit iffy. I mean, what can you say? Your seamen is a bit dodge.
So I'm gonna make my turn at the beginning.
We're waiting for Kaiser's Jack Sparrow impression. I'm not. It's Mrs. Kaiser loves Johnny Depp. I mean, like, you know, will he find me and love me and marry me?
We've got a bit of checking to do on that one now.
Okay, you managed to do it, did you?
Yeah.
Looks like. Okay.
You're opening fire, sir.
130.
Oh, that's Alfred, my son, just bursting in. Okay, we're filming Alfred. Go see Mommy. Close door. Thank you. Just a rare visitor in here, but it does happen from time to time. That's the joys of a live show, right?
Okay, so you're firing.
My firing. Tell me about the fatigue status of these 2 lead ships.
1, 1, 1.
The 2 lead ships have got 1, 1, 1.
All my ships are on 1 fatigue.
And I need to do 2 damage to put any fatigue on them.
Yep.
And ship number 2 is your flagship.
Ship number 1 is my flagship. This is the flagship.
Ship number 2 has superior gunners.
Yes.
I shall fire my galleon at your so-called superior gunners.
Remembering that I would take 1 less fatigue for shooting this turn.
Yeah, but I'm throwing 6 dice, but I'm not in formation. 5. So 5 dice is my base, and I'm unfatigued. So I'm shooting at you. 5 dice. And this is not pistol range, it's musket range, right?
Yep.
Pop. That is 4 hits.
1 potential critical.
Critical is no.
So that's him.
That's him. Yeah.
On this one.
Yes.
Right. So 4 damage points against my fortitude of 2 means you get 2 damage points.
Sweet.
And 1 fatigue point, but I don't take 1 fatigue point, so no
because
fatigue.
of your special. Yeah.
So that was baboon.
That was baboons.
So
right, I am going to fire.
I'm going to fire
out of my other broadside.
Sorry, yeah.
But the target ship must be within. So I'm making crew firing here. Are you within musket range? Probably not. No, never mind.
So I'm going to reciprocate. So 4 guns down to 3 because I've got a fatigue.
We're not in pistol range. No. That looks like nothing.
No.
Boom, boom.
Actually, I'm gonna.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're gonna spend all the points.
Yeah. I need to.
1 hit, which may be a critical.
It's not a critical, but because they're superior gunners, every critical I hit, I get another dice to roll.
You do.
If I roll a critical, I roll another dice. It keeps going till I run out.
Yeah.
So no hits on that ship.
No, there was 1 hit.
Sorry, yes, 1 hit.
1 hit because it does do a point. Every hit you do does a point of fatigue, so it does matter, even though you didn't pierce the hull.
And my other broadside can't shoot.
No.
No. Okay.
Okay, so this one, I assume that I cannot fire at the galleon. Nope. So I'll fire at this lead ship. This is my sloop. It has 3. It has a point of fatigue. Now my special ships in this squadron that are in formation may ignore fatigue.
But
1
not
fatigue
in
point, but
formation.
I'm not in formation. So I lose that for not being in formation. So here we go. 2 dice. This one, musket range. Is it musket range?
Yep, and no.
No, but I have English expert gun crew. This hasn't happened yet. I get to reroll 1 sword when shooting at medium range.
Oh,
It's a hit and a crit. And the crit is a fatigue point. So you take 1 point of damage and a fatigue point.
Yeah.
Because
For the 1 point of damage, I take the fatigue point, and then I will use on the bonus one. So
yeah. And the crit generated a second fatigue point, which is enough to mean you actually took some damage.
So firing back starts at 4, 2 fatigue points.
Oh.
And 2 hits.
And you re-roll. Oh no, that's on your expert gunners, isn't it?
So 2 hits and a sail critical.
Right, sail critical, reduce sail. We need another token. You've shot off some mast and sail from me. So 2 points of damage. I take a point of fatigue, and I take 2 points of damage because I'm a flimsy hull thing. And I've shortened sail, sir.
Yep.
All right.
And your final ship?
My final ship is going to have to make one of those crew attacks. It doesn't have any fatigue, but it isn't in formation, so it is just 1 dice. 1 dice fired at. Only really makes sense to shoot a little ship with that. This is a little ship, isn't it? But that's in musket range. This one, here we go. No.
And my ship at the back.
Yeah, that's different.
There's a line across the center line of the ship. Using that line, I can draw a line through the front and back of your base. I therefore get rake.
You do.
3 guns with a fatigue is 2 shots, but the outcomes
can be better, but not when you roll swords. Do you want to use your last fate point, Mike?
No. And so you did a Scooty. So,
all right, that's the end of the turn. They go back into the pile. That one moves forwards. And we'll look at these. I love this Await No Orders card because it allows me to...
My down disappears.
But it is reusable, right?
Yeah.
Is chain shot a thing? I don't think it's as formulaic as it is in the Napoleonic period, but there are special munitions for shooting at rigging.
There are advanced rules for
it, but I think like most of the games, I had a quick look and it just looked worse than regular shooting. Yeah, something if you're really interested, I can look at how it works a bit later. All right.
Yeah, let's try. Okay, flipping over cards.
Flipping over cards. I am using effective fire.
I'm seizing the opportunity.
Right. So you'll notice that that's got, well, you might not see from there, it's got a Dutch logo on. The way that the initiative cards work is they're different for the different nationalities. They give them flavor. But the pirates have the unique option of being able to take, there's a couple of pirate cards, but they can pad out their deck with the generic ones and the cards of one other faction.
So I've chosen Dutch.
Chosen Dutch because the French were too dirty for you.
Yeah, ships in this squadron that are not in formation,
which is your fleet,
roll 2 extra dice in the attack phase.
Well, isn't that nice?
Yeah, and it's an initiative 5 as well. So, no weather.
There's no weather, no events. You are going first.
Yeah.
Straight up going first. There's a lot more competition for what we do with our crew action now, because we need to reload and we need to, you can repair damage, you can remove fatigue, all of these things are possible, but only one of them.
So my flagship has got Yar, so I'm going to take a Yar. It's free speed, but I've got the weight of the wind, so I can go 4
because you have the fast roll.
Yeah. I'm not going to take my second turn. I'm not going to reload, but I am going to use a rally.
A rally action would normally remove a point of fatigue.
Except my admiral allows me to remove 2 from my flagship. So I've got 0 fatigue with him.
Now my guy here was forced to shorten sail. So that changing sail. Changing sail is a crew action. Changing speed, which is to go up or down by 1. So on short sail, I'm moving 2 normally. And I can try and push that up to 3. I think I might just move the 2. Yeah, I'm just going to move the 2. Because then I think this guy isn't going to fire. Now, for my crew action, I can reload, I can change sail, I can repair, or I can remove some fatigue. I think 2 fatigue. I'm going to remove fatigue.
Okay.
That's his action.
My float is going to attempt a seamanship action. I'll take 5 dice, lose 1 for the fatigue, but I make it. I've rolled several skulls.
Okay.
So let's take that out of the way for a minute, and we're going to make a turn. We've got speed 3, and we're going to make a turn. I'm going to reload.
Okay. Well, this ship then, I need to make an emergency turn. Seamanship roll. We're good. So I get to use the 1-point turn here. I will then be moving 3. Before making my turn.
Yep.
And I will reload my main battery.
Okay.
Run out the guns!
Seamanship check. Lose a dice because I've got fatigue. That's passed. So we're going to make a turn. Going to speed 3, but I'm going to use my fast rule. Turn and my reload action. Just your little brigand.
My little brig. Okay, my little brig is going to make an emergency turn.
Yep.
Which we succeed. So the number 1 turn, please. Near you. We go like that. Oops, that's on the wrong point there. And then I'm moving 3, and I've got the yar rule, so I can turn again. And then I move 3. And then I turn again.
Protecting the flagship.
This. Like this. Both broadsides, sir.
Yeah, but I get to fire first.
Oh, yeah.
So my number 2 ship fires with 4 normally, minus 1 fatigue, but 2 dice extra because of my seize the opportunity.
Yeah.
So my right broadside is hitting him.
Your right broadside is clipping this guy, yeah.
Are we musket range?
You probably are.
So there.
4 hits.
I've got a skull, so I get another roll. No skull.
It's a
No, it's a
It's
hit.
a hit though.
Yeah, and my critical
It's
is a
swords,
sword.
which is an extra fatigue.
So 5 damage.
Hang on, let me work it out.
Yeah.
So you've hit the brig.
Yeah.
You did a crit for an extra fatigue, so that's 2 fatigue.
Yep.
And then you've done 5 damage, and it's only got 1, so 5. It was on 2, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is now crippled. Now we've had this before, and it isn't actually as bad as you might think.
Yeah, you stop taking damage now and start taking fatigue.
Mm.
When a ship gets to 7 of both, then you're hitting the lifeboats.
Yeah.
Now the same ship is gonna crew fire.
Yeah.
This guy.
Okay.
So
Now does that say to extra nice broadside fire?
ships in the squadron that are not in formation roll 2 more attack dice during the attack phase.
There you go. Because I've just realised my effective fire does say broadside.
Yeah. So I start with 2 for my gun crew. I lose 1 because I've got a fatigue, but I get 2 back.
Yeah. And that's 2 hits.
That's 2 hits.
This is here, is it?
No, it's him on him.
Oh, on him?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a broadside.
Nope. So what was that? 3 hits.
3 hits.
And a possible critical.
No, the critical wasn't.
Right, okay. 3 hits. So it takes a point of fatigue. And it's 3 damage.
Yeah. You've got 1 fortitude, then all 3.
Yeah. That he's crippled as well.
Speed is reduced to 2 as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you still fire and you still operate, but you're going to start taking more.
You still fire and fight.
Yeah, so that wasn't a broadside. So that's my complete firing on that ship.
Wow, that was a bit grim. Okay. So has this got moved? I thought I clipped that when I sailed here. Maybe not. So he is pretty hopeless. He can't shoot anybody. This one. So I've got 5 dice basic. I get an extra 1 for effective fire, and I get an extra 1 for being in formation. And I'm firing point blank, raking this guy. And when I'm raking
with him,
yeah. Does it not count as raking?
No, because you from the center line.
From the center of my ship has to cross through 2 points.
Yeah.
Across your bow and your stern. Yeah, your ship's wide enough for that.
Yeah.
I have to be able to draw a line that hits both, right?
Yeah.
So this is 7 dice raking, and that just means something else hits that wouldn't normally.
Cannons are criticals as well as.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I were only 7 dice. I'll re-roll one of these misses. So that was also a miss. And then this sword here, because I'm British, I can re-roll one of those. So I've got 5 damage and 3 crit rolls. Come on. Come on. Hop. Nothing.
So, 4 damage on a fortitude of 2. So each 2 points of damage does 1 point of real damage. So that's it, 4 and 1 fatigue level.
Yeah. And a broadside marker.
And a broadside marker. Now we go over to my sloop, who fires on a 3. He loses 1 because he's got a fatigue and 2 extra dice on this guy. 1. Are we musket range? No.
No. What are you doing? You rolled the musket, so that was a miss.
Yeah. So it was 1 hit.
You rolled the musket. I thought we agreed that was a miss.
No, the first one was the hit I picked up, and then. Sorry, no. Yeah.
The best result you got there was the musket. You checked the range.
And sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself thinking
you were rolling for crits.
Okay.
So you still wouldn't have done on a musket.
No.
Right, this one's going to fire. So, this is the brig. It has 4 fire dice, but it has 2 points of fatigue, so that's down to 2. And that's about it. If it was my ships in the squadron that are in formation, So if he was in formation, I could ignore one of the fatigues, but he's not. So 2 dice into this guy.
Yeah.
Is 1 hit.
Yep.
That's just a fatigue point. And 2 dice into this guy. That's a miss. I get to re-roll a sword for being British at long range. That is a hit. Is it a crit? Yes. No, they're not hits. They're only crits for long range cannon fire.
And that's
so 1 damage and 1 fatigue.
Boom boom.
That's a boom boom on a stricken ship.
And 2
and it's getting very, very hot up here because it's summer and I can't have the AC on. I don't think you'd hear a word that we were saying.
Okay, we'll take those markers away.
Iceberg dead ahead. That is exactly what we'd be looking for.
My card is a discard after
because
use.
It's a quality card, right?
Quality.
Right, so mine goes back in the pile there. This one comes forwards. That one goes back there. Okay. Yeah.
So that's the one. Okay.
All right. You're a lot better than me this time. Now, I've got 2 stricken ships, crippled ships. If I had 3 crippled ships, that's as much as my squadron. I think that's when my squadron would break.
Yeah. And then they were
it might be more than that. I'll check it when we get to the 3rd one. And sunk ships count for double. So let's start with the initiative reveal then.
Yeah.
I've got await new orders.
You like this one?
You got another special one?
I have.
Raise the flag! Oh, it's got the Jolly Roger out.
All opposing ships
Yeah.
within musket shot
Yeah.
of a ship in this squadron must immediately roll a skill test with 3 fewer dice. Each ship that fails this test takes 1 point of fatigue.
Oh, nice. Okay, so I get 6.
I think everybody's in musket range.
Yeah, absolutely. I get 6 dice normally for a skill test, being Jack Tower.
Yep.
I lose 3 because of that raise the black roll, and then I lose my fatigue amount. So that brig gets 1 dice. The brig at the back, 1 dice. He passes his skill test on a sail. The galleon has got 1 fatigue point instead of 2. He passes it. Oh, I'm very lucky today. And lastly, the sloop's got 2 fatigue points, so he fails it. The gains a fatigue point, yeah?
Yep.
Very nice card. Is that reusable or is that
That's a discard?
That's a discard. Pretty good, that. It's pretty good. Await new orders. What are my new orders? My new orders are... Engage the enemy more closely. Each ship in the squadron that is not entangled or aground may make a free move directly sideways at the beginning or the end of its movement phase. Additionally, ships within pistol shot roll 2 more dice for broadside attacks.
Right. So I've still got the initiative of the original card.
Yep.
My number 2 ship.
So we definitely concluded you really need 2 sets of this because each player needs all the tokens and all the dice, and we are constant because it's alternating activations. We are eternally switching to me to you, like the Chuckle Brothers with it all.
Gonna make a seaman ship order.
Yeah.
Losing some dice for fatigue.
Okay.
But I pass it.
You pass it, and this is to make a turn, is it?
Yeah.
Right. So you only had a move of 2 anyway, didn't you? Because you were sideways to the wind.
Yep.
So you can turn again with your normal turn. Yes. And you can turn again with your Yar turn.
This one doesn't have Yar, so I take the turn there.
Right.
And then stop there. Yep.
Okay.
So just about avoid. Now. He fired both broadsides. No, he didn't. No, he did. That was a.
That's yours.
I've got. Without I'm in a close position, I've got to lose a fatigue. So I'm not reloading.
No?
No.
You're not reloading.
I think that one's
not gone yet, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to move the sloop. The sloop now has a max move of 2. His move caps out at 2. The fact that he's got short and sail means he moves 2 as well. Because he's got crippled and short sail.
Yeah.
But both of them kind of put an upper limit. So I am going to turn, move, turn. And I'll reload that broadside.
Okay. Getting messy now. So start with 5 dice for the seamanship test. No fatigue on this ship. Made. So that's that one. I'm going at 3.
You've still got this on this side, right?
Yeah, I will be taking it off in a second, and then. So I made my seamanship. I've used my yard turn at the end, and reload.
Yeah.
Close to the enemy.
Yeah. I didn't make my sideways move, did I? Which I should have done. All right. This chappy here. He's going to turn a wee bit at the beginning of his move. And then move. And then reload.
Okay. Oh, slips on 2 fatigue.
And then he's going to pull himself an inch closer.
Yeah.
With that move that I've got.
Didn't make that one. So take my yard turn, take my normal turn, and I'll give a little bit in that direction and reload.
This is limited to 2 because it's crippled. So I'm going to turn and then yard turn and then move my 2 to here, and then I am going to, I think, lose a fatigue.
Okay.
As my crew action.
So
and then
you've got the slide.
Shit, let me move this sideways. Yeah, so I can allow myself, I can shimmy to get myself in formation with this guy.
You can't, you're just too far up. Yeah.
You don't have to be within pistol range, you have to be within musket range.
Oh, sorry, yes, musket range. Keep forgetting that one. Okay, so firings.
Firings, yes. You get to choose who's going to shoot first.
So I'm going to take your sloop.
You're going to take my sloop.
4 shots. No fatigue.
3 hits.
Yeah.
That was a pistol.
No, it's a sword.
Oh, right, sorry.
So 2 hits.
Is it critical?
Possible critical. No.
2 hits.
Yep.
And this is on the sloop?
Yep.
So it takes 2 more points of fatigue. She's in a pretty bad way.
You take 2 for the hits fatigue and 1
and another one for the fact that I would have taken a point of fatigue anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Poop.
I've got 6 fatigue and 7 damage.
And how many dice to fire? So, would you like to fire a ship, sir?
I'd like to fire this ship.
Yep.
I would like to fire this ship. So, I get 5 dice base. I get 1 extra for being in formation, and then I get another 2 for this engage the enemy more closely. And I get to re-roll a sword. Do I want to I want to fate point this, because this roll, I haven't seen the other 2 dice yet. Let me roll the other 2 dice.
So at the moment you're on 1 crit and 2 hits.
And this is my other 2 dice. Okay.
So
they're all hits, and this is a re-roll for being a sword. Okay, so I've got 6 hits, of which 1 is a potential crit. The crit is no. 6 damage.
6 on a fortitude 2 is 3 damage.
Are you a stricken ship?
I'm
sir?
stricken.
Very good.
And that was your fire. We'll just put
That was my broadside fire there, yeah.
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 And I don't have broadside on you, so I'm going to crew fire you.
With this one?
Yeah, but I can't because I've got fatigue.
Righty-ho. And that ship's fatigue, that's the brig at the back. It's got 1 fatigue and 1 crew.
And no guns loaded.
No, I'm looking at crew firing.
Yeah.
So it's not going to fire. This guy's
I could crew fire with this one then, couldn't I?
You could crew fire with that one, yeah, but you've got fatigue.
Yeah. So no more firings from me.
This one is at -6, and it has 5 dice. So there you go.
Right. So we're at end of firing phase then.
End of the firing phase.
A discard.
Yes, that engages the enemy more closely is a one-off thing for me. So I'm gonna go with come on. Such a good card. All right.
Down, all chips take 1 less fatigue.
And I'm on effective fire, which is 1 extra dice shooting. I have the initiative. So this guy is going to move his 2, which is all he can do. There you go.
Yeah.
And he is going to lose himself a point of fatigue.
Okay. Speed 3 is going to go fast. Up to speed 4 with a little turn at the end. Wrong one. Nothing to reload, so he will lose a fatigue.
This guy will maneuver. Yeah. So he makes a turn.
Yeah.
Makes a turn.
Yeah.
He moves 2. And then he makes a turn. And I think that'll do him. And then he loses this, reloads here.
Okay. So I'm sailing.
Evening, Aled.
Sailing into the wind. I'm gonna speed up with this ship. Yep. So 2 becomes 3. I will take my yard turn.
Yep.
I will speed 3.
Yep.
And I will make my game turn and reload.
This is the crippled one.
No, that's my flagship number 1.
Okay, that's the crippled.
That's the crippled one.
Okay. So I'll just move 3 here, I think. Do I need to make a turn? Not quite. Yeah. Okay, sailor check. We'll try and make a turn. Slight turn.
How many fatigue have you got?
Fatigue on that ship 1.
You passed. Skull.
Skull. Okay. So I'm making a slight turn. Just so that I don't clip that ship. A little bit. And I move my 3 to there. And then I reload that broadside.
Okay. You're gonna try and
Definitely feel we need pennants at this stage.
Yeah, that's why we've got the red and blue numbers on the back for us. So 5 maneuver, 2 fatigue. Trying to make a turn. No.
So you move 3 ahead and collide with that ship?
I move 2 ahead.
Ah. So you don't quite collide then?
And just the slightest of turns just to get a reload.
Okay. And you get the reload in?
And
that's everybody moved?
Yeah, we didn't put
the weights down?
Yeah.
Everybody has moved. Shooting first then is me. I think I want to start with my big ship. I've got a point of fatigue and I'm not in formation, and that means I don't get to ignore it. So my 5 dice, so I have 5 dice base, lose 1 for fatigue, gain 1 for effective fire. There we go, 5 dice, firing into that ship, ship number 2.
Yep.
I get 5 hits.
I'll take it.
She's crippled and stricken. That's not the flagship, is it?
No. This you fired at this one, which is number 2.
Yeah. That's okay. Okay. All right, and then I'll shoot the other one. Same. This side, ship number 1. That is the flagship, right?
This is the flagship.
Okay. So they're all hits except this one, which I get to, I'm not at medium range, and there's no crits. I might re-roll that. 5 dice re-rolling. I might need crits to make it a big win. Oh, 3 damage.
3 damage becomes 1 damage and 1 fatigue.
You don't take the fatigue because you got the down roll.
I've got my down on, yeah.
You got your down on.
Down, deeper on down. So I'm going to return fire with my flagship.
Okay. How much fatigue has it got?
None. I rallied. Remember when I?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 1 hit.
1 hit.
1 hit is only going to do a point of fatigue to me. I'm a big old shit.
That's him fired.
Okay. So now this guy, number 4, he can't do anything with his firing. So number 5 has only got 1 fatigue point. So he does actually still fire with 3 dice, effective fire up to 4. So here we go.
Yep.
Musket range. That is 3 hits. You don't take the fatigue. Is that another crippled ship?
Yep. 2 of them. Well, yeah. But he's going to fire back.
Yeah.
3, 1 fatigue, because he didn't take any fatigue in this.
Yeah. I'm already crippled. You get a hit and it says a crit. It is. Yes, and that's an extra fatigue, I think.
It is, yeah.
Yes. So you hit me and did a fatigue. 1 damage, 1 fatigue.
And
so
a bonus
that's 1 damage,
fatigue.
1 fatigue, and then a bonus fatigue.
Yeah.
But I'm already crippled, so that's actually 3 fatigue.
Yeah.
On the brink. So I go from 1 to 4.
Now, I haven't reached this stage before. I'm assuming I'm not going to no firing.
I think you're out of action.
Yeah.
Let's see what out of action involves. You can no longer move, take seamanship or crew action, and make attacks. It's effectively out of the game.
Okay.
They just stay there unless they sink in the end phase.
Okay, so that is the end phase. And you get to roll in the end phase.
To see if it sinks.
Yeah. You go to the section that says end phase.
Oh, this could be exciting.
It's 2 out of the 8, I think. There we go. There.
See the chips. Roll dice for each out of action ship. Sail or a skull, and it sinks. I think you should roll. I think you should be responsible
how
for
many do
your
I roll?
sinking. Just 1.
1 dice?
1 dice. It is not sink.
Nope.
It is in a bad way, but it is not sink. Right, strike point. 1 for each ship that is crippled. So I have 2 strike points because I have 2 crippled ships.
And I have 2 strike points because I've got 2 crippled ships.
Now you have 3 because you're 1 crippled and 1 out of action.
Sorry. You've got 3, I've got 2.
No, that's whether you strike.
Oh, sorry.
You get your own strike points.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. So,
Okay, so check for withdrawal. The number of strike points ended in a round exceeds the number of ships in that squadron. Aground or out of action do not count towards the total. Then that squadron withdraws. You only got 2 ships. Thank you for the game. There we go.
that was interesting. Playing those, I didn't get to play the pirate cards in the previous game.
Right.
But
there's a lot of reading to do when you start this, isn't there?
Because you do get the which you're getting turns choosing.
Yeah.
Because there are some very good cards, and the orders one.
But there's enough very good
Yeah.
cards. Like you've got that down card, and I've got that, which is a great card. But I don't know whether I'd swap it for the one. What's the one I keep using? Await new orders. It's like I get to my initiative 1 card is I get to pick after I've seen what you've done.
Yeah, because this was my next card, which is one of my Dutch cards, is Adaptive Tactics. If your opponent has discarded any initiative cards, I can use them this turn.
Oh, right. Well, that was the engage more closely. That would have been a great card to have there.
Yeah.
So I've got to say, okay, so we played it before with the out-the-box scenario, the first time we played it, and I think you
for a long time.
Yeah, I think you want to play with the higher firepower ships. I think probably for learning how the mechanics rule works, you want the ships that don't have much firepower. They took ages to kill each other, which meant you played the basics a lot.
Yes.
We went into our second game knowing kind of how the game works, really. And this is our third. I think the game was more fun having had more powerful ships.
Yeah. Because
things happen.
And thing to remember, we're playing on the plush mat. It comes with a 3x3 mat.
It does.
But
which is beautiful, but very glossy.
But the other thing is, plus over other games, is we've not had to relocate ships.
No.
The move is small enough and tight enough. It's more. We've got the other problem. We've got cluttered.
Yes.
But that's what they did. Is they closed in to maximise the firepower.
Yeah. Now I'm not saying you never need to move them out. And another viewers were saying is like they're going to run out of board here and say, well, this is where we're up to, and the game is over.
Yeah.
Now, I think if you start in a corner facing into that corner, you're going to have problems. You do need to think about your board layout and your positioning. And definitely in the previous game, we came close to the edge, like within a foot of it. But we didn't sail off the table. We've never sailed off the table.
And there were no emergency manoeuvres to stay on the table.
No.
it was still without taking any special. We could have still made the turns.
Yes.
The winter was stayed up there. There is one card that moves it to a different table edge.
Yeah.
But we haven't had that one come out.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic game.
I think it's a great game. I really do.
The ships, they're less detailed, but they're fantastic little ships.
Then they do not have the fidelity of the Warlord. I mean, this is it's not like a Kinder Egg toy. It's not that low definition, but it's nowhere near the quality of the Warlord ones. But they are recognisably different. They're nice, and I think painted up they're going to look cracking. All the clear movements. If I have a concern with this game is when you get close, there are a lot of markers.
Yeah,
I think we could do with a different system to put in the wake counter behind them, and this I think we should put like a smoke ball on or something.
Yeah, well that's what the other games you got the fire fluff.
Yeah, the
but even that one, yeah. But yeah, it got messy at the end there, and then when we were firing two ships sides, of course, that's the other thing is there isn't that in the 6-ship game. If everybody was in a position to double broadside, we'd run out of
tokens. Yeah.
So yeah,
I think the game is definitely slowed down by sharing all of those tools.
Yes,
I my first gut feeling is we want to get another set so that there's a completely spare set of dice.
Yeah.
Like when you got to roll, there's rare moments we roll 8 dice, but you've mostly got your own dice. You've got 2 copies of each of the ships.
And just on if you think about it, so my best ship was only a 13.
Yeah. Whereas mine,
but it carried the extra skills.
Yeah. Whereas mine was a 70. I mean, that 5th dice was there.
Yeah.
But you can put additional guns on a ship for 2 points.
Yes. You can increase your skill ratings, additional crew, additional guns, and there are other skills that you can buy.
And then there's a whole bunch of cards. You can have worse ships as well.
Yeah.
You can have your rotting timbers and so forth as a unique sort of ability.
You can buy captains for the other ships, or like I had an expert gunner to get myself up to the 40 points. So yeah, 2 sets of this if you're going to play it properly, because the generic cards there's 1 copy of the really good ones, and you'll end up fighting over those.
But the game we just played was 1 set.
Yeah,
we just played between us. We had 1 set. Definitely playable. Definitely playable. I feel very positively about it.
Yeah. If you want to play it, I'd go for a set of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I checked in the UK. You can buy it from Wayland Games. We have an affiliate link with them, by the way. And it's definitely available along with all the expansions, so far as I can see. And it was about 50.
It was under £60.
Well, it's 62 full retail, but
right.
They've got a discount on it. Yeah, let me just catch up with the chat. Ali joined us earlier. Sorry, buddy. I think I noticed that and said hi.
You did say hi to Aled, yeah.
Dwayne from Plastic Crack Gaming. Mate, I've been practicing Battletech, the Paradox one. I'm ready to face you in a couple of weeks' time. Pedants. No place for pedantry in a friendly game. Oh, did we get a little bit nadgery? Sorry about that, subs. You can get the Star Box for less money than a Team Yankee Force box. Yeah, definitely. See, when I see a game that's got loads of cards which are upgrades, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Any fool can create an equipment list to expand the game. What I like about this is these initiative cards are really important choices and really mix up the gameplay. Yeah, it's not the expandability of the ship. That's really easy to do.
Yeah.
This makes it really modern. The fact that the widgets, I wish they were just 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches, and they turn, to be honest. But that's probably because we were sharing the tools. Yeah.
And also, the turn reflects the speed. So, but the bit is it's not only you're choosing the initiative in the previous turn. Several really good cards you must be in formation to use.
Yes,
but you've put it down the previous turn, and you're having to react to a ship.
Yeah. I mean, to get the most out of this game, you probably want to double what we did, but not have many more ships. Just have more powerful ones.
So just holding the tokens over each other, you can see
the angles are different. You're a bit lower, Mike. A bit lower. There you go.
Okay. I'm not on the screen.
Yeah, that's an injury. 2 starts for a little more on a good amount of ships for each side. Yeah, definitely. You don't need 2 sets to play. We just played with 1. But if you're committed to it, I would. If we're going to play this again, we're going to paint them and get a second set. What do you think, man? Will you be buying a set of this to bring down in the future?
It's definitely on the list. Yes, I like it.
I think it's modern, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the initiative and alternating activations and stuff. It's got a lot going for it. We didn't get to boarding, and it's mostly because these are all really small ships for the grand scale of it. The boarding felt really risky. Like when your ship's there, I should board him now. Yeah, but he's got as many crew as I have. I don't know whether I'll just lose with that. Because we hadn't done any sort of direct targeting of crew for capturing purposes and so forth.
Yeah, because you can target the crew, you can target the rigging in the advanced rules.
But like all of these things, you get less result, but more. You do less damage, but it's better targeted. So you really need to have a good reason to do it.
And the balance of fatigue and damage.
Yes.
You're having to forego a reload to cut so that if you do, what's the point of reloading? You're not going to be able to fire it.
Yeah.
Or you're firing at a distinct disadvantage.
And our difference South purely from the cards we took. I had better fatigue management, but I had to stay in formation. You had cards, and then you probably can lean into this a whole lot more. You had not being in formation was your game.
Yeah.
And me being in formation was leading us to want to play quite differently.
Yeah, the 2 pirate cards I didn't get to use in the previous one, but getting 2 extra gunshots on you and then closing on you and being in close range, because I think I did actually tease you in. You came in close because I left the ships in a good position, and then you all 3 of you passed all of them, which was.
Oh, when you raise the black?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Just catching the last of the chat, and then we're going to move on. We're making a review of this. This is why we stopped to do this and show you us learning to play it. Let's put tokens with the ship cards. Yeah. So the thing we do with this as well. They've got little sliders on the side and damage trackers, but the wakes to show that a particular model has moved, which is that strange bubbly thing, and the broadside thing. I guess you could put it on the card, but I think the other person needs to instantly be able to recognize those things. But the cards are taking a little bit of damage from these clips. I'm seeing. Yeah, they're not pristine.
They are very good clips. They're very solid, big bit on the back. Some of them are a paper or card. These are solid plastic. But as you're dragging it down, if you're one of those people, it is roughing up the edge. If you don't pull it out slightly before you slide.
And the ship cards are bigger than standard magic cards. You couldn't just get the sleeves for these easily. But so getting some kind of MDF tray. And is the plastic strong enough to work to withstand? Not the GB flex test. Well, we'll give you a Kaiser flex test. They are a soft plastic. Whoops. They do bend a little bit.
Because with the sloop, it's the only one that you actually really have to glue in, because this sail has to go into a slot.
And there's another one.
And then there's a second.
Another piece of studding or whatever. Yeah. All right, let's see the cards or laminate them. Yeah, laminate might be.
Well, they are all shiny, and I'm wondering if a white mark.
White mark.
Yeah.
A dry wipe.
A dry wipe. A
dry wipe is what you look for. All right, lads. I hope this was useful for those of you that were interested in the game. We certainly enjoyed it, and we've finished up the review today. Maybe be out next week or the week after.
Don't look at me. You're the one that's.
Thank you for watching.
Cheers, guys. Bye.